Hey connections, welcome to the channel where you can get anything and everything about business and life. This is Jagash Chandra, a first year MBA student at IMT Nagpur. Today we are having another first year student from XAMB Bhubaneswar. His name is Sai Kiran. He is having a prior experience in software as a software engineer from Bosch company. Today's topic is HR function. Let us discuss everything about HR. Does really HR is a woman or not? What was the career trajectory? What was the salary in HR? Everything. Okay, welcome to the channel, Sai Kiran.
Thank you. This is like the first time I'm part of a YouTube channel. I think it's the first time social media is going to see me, my real face,
Yeah,
because I don't even have my DP on any of my social media handles. First time. This is
yeah.
new.
Pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you. Yeah, let me ask you this: the basic, fundamental, most important question. How is the MBA life? How was the first trimester?
Uh, I think it's a question for both of us. Since both of us
Yeah,
completed our first semester recently, mine is a trimester. Thing is,
mine also.
what happens, this in my point of view, so far as my journey is concerned, I think in my 23 years of life, I'm 23 years old. I never had this kind of a notion where I would even experience this kind of things in my entire life. The number of things I've experienced in this short span of 5 months, I never did that in my 23 years of life. I would say
Yeah,
I've lost as number of times. I've lost many number of times. In fact, more than number of times I've won here. The number of deadlines I've had, the number of sleepless nights I've had, the sleep cycle, I would say. The entire sleep cycle is, it gets disturbed.
yeah.
The dark circles here, they stand as a proof for that.
Yeah.
And then in your entire day, you'll be completely packed with your academics, your KS comms, you have your presentations, you have your case studies,
By the
and
way, how
all
much the
these.
batch size of
Yeah.
XMB?
Acha, the batch size. I think there's a lot of misconception regarding this XMB, which I want to address now. Because since you have brought this up, most of the people think XIMB, there's this one college. No, we're actually two different colleges under the same brand name, Xavier Institute of Management. So, one, it's completely taken care by the BM batch, the business management, the core branch which they've got, the MBA core. And whereas mine, it is HR branch, MBA HR, Human Resource Management, HRM, if you ever heard of that.
No, I haven't.
So, yes. So coming to the batch size, we are 120 in batch BHRM, whereas the BM size batch is triple of us, 360, three
Great,
times.
great. Like us. Yeah, yeah. Let's come to the HR. There's really
Yeah.
HR for women. Do recruiters
Uh,
prefer women instead of men? What was your
um,
thoughts?
do you need a really genuine answer from me?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay. Thing is, there is this one misconception that HRs, most of the HRs that we see in movies also, those are all played by female leads. So it is a very highly misconcepted area where people think HR is for women. But honestly speaking, if we do a deep research, what we understand is most of the CXO levels, CHROs are male. Not just in India, but then all over the world, most of the CHROs and who are all the board members of the human resource, those belong to the male department. But at the same time, uh, yes, there are a lot of roles which are specifically for women and which are not open for men at all. So there is
Oh,
this one concept of gender diversity that comes in. So a lot of companies, in order to maintain the gender diversity and the employer branding, so they do prefer women over men. But in the long run, that gender criteria really doesn't matter.
okay. So they can recruit for another functions as well, for marketing, for finance as well. Why they recruit
Mhm.
women for gender diversity in HR?
So what happens now in HR? There is because most of the times HR will be dealing with very basic thing as the name suggests, we deal with human, we deal with employees and people. Whereas you're from marketing, you will be completely dealing with the all the market structures and how to sell your product. And most of the people believe that selling a product is a skill that men have. So that is a misconception with regard to your branch. At the same time, coming to mine, this is a misconception that the human emotions will be taken care more by women. But honestly speaking, HR, if you take it at an organizational level, I would say very simply put, HR is like the guardian of the organization. If we consider organization to be a family, HR is like mother of the family. This I'm not just hyping this up, but the thing is, most of the companies nowadays, most of the MNCs nowadays, if you see the recent layoffs happening in big companies as well, not just smaller companies, big tech companies.
Yeah.
If you look at that, the huge number of employees are laid off in a short span of time, where they have no other option to be there. But here in this case, what an HR, what an HR does in this particular situation is that he makes sure that the employees feel belonged in the organization. And as the very name suggests, you're trying to manage humans. So humans are the core resource of any organization. So when you take care of people of the organization, they'll automatically take care of the organization. So this is something most of the organizations are not paying much attention to.
Okay.
But this is a very crucial aspect because in the long term, what happens is it's entirely dependent on the employees. So if you have the right employee there at the right time in your organization, you're gonna get that profits. You're gonna have a very good balance sheet where you have all your profits on high.
Yeah. You're basically saying that the attrition rate is completely depends on the HR.
Not just attrition rate. Thing is, I would say the culture of the organization depends on
Yeah.
this. There's not. I want to bring that one recent case study that I've studied. So what happened is recently an employee has joined an organization. Better not to reveal the name of the organization. So what happened is he joined the organization and he resigned on the very same day. Imagine in the morning you have your offer letter in your hand, joining letter, you do all the joining formalities,
Yeah.
and by EOD you just go to their HR, send a mail that no, I'm quitting this company. So that's what has
Yeah.
happened.
Even one of my friend quit a job in 3 weeks in one of the renowned companies. Yeah.
The 3 weeks, I would say, it's a very huge amount of time. To be honest, there are a lot of people who are leaving the organization on the very same day that I mentioned, or within a week for that matter.
Yeah.
The reason is it's not just about the pay for this matter. Because if you look only at the pay scale, no, there are a lot of companies paying at a similar pay scale. But what matters to an employer, as me as an employer as well, what I look for is not just money. Apart from money, there are many other things. I
Okay.
need a culture where I'll be. There is one concept called as psychological safety, where you feel belong to the organization, and whatever efforts you're putting in the organization, those should benefit you and the organization as well. If there is a misconnection between your work and the organization, and if you feel at any point that there is a disconnect between you and the organization, then before the pink slip comes, you send a resignation mail to your HR or your manager.
Yeah.
So this is a
Now,
very crucial
as you,
aspect that HR takes care of. Yeah.
as you spoke of the salary, how much one can expect from HR domain?
Okay. Contrary to a popular belief that we HRs are being underpaid, no, we are not. We are not. This again, I don't know for some reason, man. Like most of the things about HR are like completely misconceptions in the market. That what we just do rangoli, we do a lot of things. So we are not paid. We are not paid
Even
only
I
for the
haven't heard
rangolis.
about this Rangoli concept before because I'm a fresher, right? I haven't heard about this Rangoli concept. Now I have been experiencing this. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so it's not like we're just doing Rangoli or making people do, random
Can you
games and all.
mention what is Rangoli for the audience?
Okay, very technically speaking, Rangoli is nothing but an employee engagement program that we conduct. Thing is, see, it's the Rangoli that you're looking at. But on the contrary, on the other side of Rangoli, what we are looking at is the teamwork, is the synergy that you're building, is the connections that you're building with the other employees in the organization. So there are no barriers between you and the other person when it comes to communication. So in future, whichever project you're dealing with, irrespective of the criticality of the project, you have to deal with people. When you have that bonding between you and the other employer, only then you will be able to deliver a product that is required for the organization. So this is something which we have not been able to quantify since ages. And that is the reason we are not able to match this, map this Rangoli to the business that we're doing. That's why a
Yeah,
lot of people think we just do Rangoli.
yeah.
So that's the concept there.
All the
Yeah, and
marketing guys and
also
finance guys, we are having the
yeah,
numbers, they don't. That's why they are suffering from the edges. Yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
Thing is, finance or even your marketing, you have your figures being given there that this is your target, this is what you have reached. But in
yeah.
HR, it is kind of tough to give that number.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. What was the career trajectory in HR?
Also, we missed the question of the salary aspect of it.
Okay,
Thing is, salary. Speaking of salary, it's a very subjective question, as it depends on how you're reaching the role of HR. Let's say you're going on a traditional path, like you do your graduation and later you do an MBA in HR. Let's say you do it from a Tier 1 institutes, uh, which exam is, it definitely is. So you can expect somewhere around 20 lakhs per annum,
okay.
20 plus.
You're talking
If you're
about
doing it from
CTC.
the CTC, yes,
Okay,
the yearly CTC that you get. So the if you're doing it from Tier 1 institutes, 20 plus for sure, provided you have the right skill set. And then as it goes on to Tier 2 and other things, if you're doing it from the Tier 2, that would be like around 15-ish. Thing is,
okay,
it is
okay.
a very subjective question, and the role that you're doing also matters.
Okay, like what was the career trajectory? If we talk about marketing, first we have the sales intern, then a management training, then the area sales
Mhm.
manager, and that goes on this. What was the career trajectory of HR? Yeah,
Okay, so usually what happens is there are multiple career trajectories, to be honest. As I've seen a lot of people doing their undergraduation in HR, human resource, and now doing their MBA in HR. And
mm,
they have the work ex in between during this period. So they've started with HR intern, and from HR intern, you get into one of the HR departments. It could be in learning and development, or talent acquisition, or it could be in performance management. So you have different departments in HR. So you could be part of any of these departments, and then you start at the junior level. And as you gain experience, you get into a role of HRBP, which is a human resource management business professional. So what happens business partner. So what happens here is the main work of HRBP is linking the HR policies and HR strategies that you make to the long-term business objectives of the organization. So this is the core problem that HRBP is solving. And once you reach a
okay,
level of
yeah.
HRBP, there you climb up the ladder where you become the part of the board. One of the main one of the main things which we HR people have missed since long is having a place in the board. That every time they mention CXO. Okay, for that matter, let me ask you a question. Since I've just mentioned CXO, could you tell what all CXOs strike your mind that the very next moment I said CXO?
The top three, like CFO, Chief Finance
Huh.
Officer, Chief, like the top three. But I wanted to ask you the one question. Like HR
Mhm.
is not a primary function for a business per se. See, it's a secondary function. As we learn in the first semester, it's not a primary function. I think that would be
Mhm.
the reason why HR is not in the board meeting. Might be, huh? Will that be right?
Yeah, thing is, Okay. As you said, HR is perceived to be a support function
Yeah.
than a business function. So yeah, this is a major concept that they have to address here. So being on the HR side, talking really speaking. So what happens is, let me give an example. So yeah, most of us would have gone to DMart, no? It is a it has got a huge retail chain here in India. So there is this one HR policy that I'm talking about. Is that in DMart, whenever you buy a product, you have it scanned by a scanner using the QR bar scanner, and then later on you have all your products, and then you get your final bill. But maybe a lot of people wouldn't know this, that there is this one policy which was introduced by the HR department at DMart, where the QR code, the amount of time it takes to scan and the entire process to get completed. It was kind of more because considering the amount of customers you have had. So what they did was they designed a process, the HR department, where the products are scanned, like you have a pool of products being put into one basket, and all of these would be scanned within just a single scan, and with none of the products being missed. So let's say you buy 100 products or you buy just 10 products, the amount of time it takes is just 1 second. This I've seen recently in other, not just retail markets, but I've seen in Reliance Trends as well. The retail they have for the clothing store.
Yeah.
So
In Judio
as
as
I've
well.
researched, so as I've researched, I've understood that it was a practice which was started by the HR department, and most of them wouldn't even know that this was something that was started by HR department because
Yeah.
they think HR is just Rangoli.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's something related to the tech, in my opinion. But you're saying HR. That's like
Uh-huh.
blow my mind. Yeah.
No, thing is the policy was introduced and the idea was being put up on the entire ideation part and the implementation part as well was
Yeah.
put up by
HR.
the HR, the CHRO.
Oh, that's great insight. Yeah.
And I just
Does
hope you know what CHRO is.
what?
I just hope you in the CXO level that you've added, no CEO, CFO, we have CHRO as well, Chief of Human
Okay.
Resource Officer.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
lot of people wouldn't know
Uh,
this.
yeah, I didn't know, to be very frank.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
uh, does AI replace an HR in future? Because when I asked this question to ChatGPT, what was the what was the percentage? It will give a higher percentage for the HR function comparatively to the other functions. Does it really make sense to you? Does AI replace HR?
Uh, okay, very frankly speaking, if you look at the different functions of HR, no, it has evolved over years. Initially, HR was more like an admin function. You know, the having a payroll system, having an attendance registry, and you maintain all the details of your employees in the background. The record keeping and maintenance. That used to be the work of HR. And later on, as it progressed, it became much more developed, where their main role was more into statutory compliance. You know, compliance to the regulatory authorities and compliance to the processes. But then currently, it is more of a strategic HR. Now, coming to
Ah,
this term, strategic HR. So, what we do is people management, as I've said, because the core of any organization, irrespective of your sector, is the people. So, whatever policy you introduce, whatever change you bring in the organization, it all has to pass through people. If people themselves are going to resist to the change, you will not be able to build organizations. So when these kind of changes or these kind of policies are being brought out, see, irrespective of the organization, it is the HR department that is going to strategically formulate all these policies, formulate all these people-related activities, which pass through the entire organization, through the entire hierarchy of the organization, from the top board level to the ground shop floor workers. So it has turned out to a function which is more strategic rather than an administrative function. So AI replacing it, it does happen to a few of the roles in HR. As I mentioned, the admin kind of roles which they have, for example, the payroll systems. payroll department. The entire payroll department, I think, would be replaced by AI, as it is a very monotonous job that you're doing, that which can be just automated using AI. But at the same time, there are functions of HR, like this maintaining the strategies for the organization, making the strategies. These cannot be replaced by an AI model. Definitely not, because giving you an example, we have recently had a leadership talk where one of the top members of Citibank has come, CHRO. So one main thing which she quoted was that even during implementation of one of the policies in the Citibank, what happened was they had an entire system being ready and it was ready for implementation. But and this entire thing was done or was automated using AI. So it was this AI system that is bringing change using the specific strategies that they're formulated. But one crucial thing which they have missed was the data breach issues. And this was never pointed out by the AI model that they built in the entire end-to-end model that I've built. This was pointed out by the HR department. So here, what is happening is AI is doing its work, but end of the day, it is us humans who need to make sure that there are no errors, as an error cause here in one level will have a cascading effect later on, and this will pass out to the entire organization. So here AI will just act as an assistant to us. It is never going to replace us. As here by us, I don't just mean HR department for that matter. It could be any role in any organization. And in particular to HR, as I mentioned the example as well, it definitely cannot replace 100% of functions. But the initial functions that I've mentioned, which can be automated, those will definitely be replaced. And they are being replaced also in many of the organizations.
Okay.
And but coming to these strategic levels, these at this point in time, they cannot be. So later on,
Okay.
we need to gain those AI skills as well,
Yeah.
so that
Can
it
you
will
mention
stay
any
relevant.
tools? Can you mention any tools which an HR looking for? Uh, which an HR student need to learn? Can you mention
The AI
any?
tools.
Yeah, AI tools.
Okay. One thing is the regular AI tools which we always use. The regular ChatGPT or Gemini which we have. But in particular to HR, there are a lot of HRIS tools, HRMS tools that we call Human Resource Management System tools. And all of these recently are being AI driven. So
Okay.
these used to be a manual functions before, but these applications have developed in such a way where entire end-to-end functions in these applications are being driven by AI. So what we can do is learn these tools and how they are being developed using AI so that we stay relevant to the current trends, because these functions, when they have been done with AI, they can be done at least 10x faster than how it actually takes, the amount of time it actually takes if you're doing it manually in the regular format. So learn these AI tools and HRIS or HRMS tools. And then there is one branch of HR that is recently coming up. We have had a leadership talk today as well, where one of the top leaders from the organizations, I sorry for not revealing the name of the organization. So they've discussed about how they've used HR analytics in particular to the organization and how their profit has increased 10x. This is not something which I am telling. This was being implemented in the organization and they've seen the profit, the numbers which a lot of HR people could not, comprehend over these years. We were able to show numbers finally. Because of this, we could do this. And this was possible because of the HR department and the AI that is being involved in the HR department.
Yeah.
So we need to learn AI tools. Like we have a lot of AI tools for that matter. We have the regular apart from the regular tools, we have HRMS tools as well. The Darwin box is there, and then we have other tools like Bamboo HR. All of these, when being used with AI, they're going to boost your productivity rate, and all of these simple tasks which can be automated, those will be done in sort of seconds. And
Okay.
we can do a lot of strategic work than regular HR work that always happened.
Okay. What made you to choose HR? Because it's an highly populated, woman-driven function.
Okay, as you mentioned, it's like, highly populated by women. A lot of people don't know this, that a lot of people who are at the topmost leadership levels in HR department, for example, the CHROs or the other top board members of HR are men, not women. So it is a highly misconcepted area that HR is something which will be done only by females. I think this could be due to a lot of reasons. That it become a cliche over a period of time that HR is something only females do. No, uh, for that matter, we as a batch, around 55% of us are women, but other 45 to 50%, we're like 50-50 each. So like half of our batch size is by men. So a lot of men are really preferring HR, and I think it has got nothing to do with the gender, because HR is somebody who is like the guardian of the organization, the one who protects the cultural identity of the organization. Because as the numbers go up, most of the companies, what they do is they focus more on the numbers, the profits that they're gaining, and forget one basic thing, that all these numbers are possible because of the people, because of the employees in the organization. When you're not able to take care of those employees who are responsible for all these profits, the day they start disconnecting from the organization, your organization is going to fail really bad. So that sticking between the organization and the employer is something which will be taken care by an HR. So with this regard, I just on the other day I was going through LinkedIn post. So there's this one famous quote by one of the CEOs where he says, pay your employee in such a way that he does not look for any other organization to shift, and have such kind of a culture in the organization that it'll be very hard for him to go to any other organization. So you get addicted to the culture of the organization. I'm literally using this word, addicted to the culture. That
Yeah,
if you go to any other organization, you'll not be able to get the feel that you've had, that feel of belongingness, the feel of
yeah.
cultural
Like
identity that you've had.
while you're saying all these things, the one company which comes to my mind is Tata's. Like how their
Hmm.
employees are really trustful for their organization. I think HR function plays a major role in their company, might be, in my opinion, right? Yeah, in the
Yes, as you
2611 attacks also, they were
exactly, I
very
was
brave.
about to go the same example.
Yeah,
Like as you brought this out, no, the yes, exactly.
yeah,
Because even after having such disastrous event happening in there, the very next day the employees were out. They were like, no, we are just going to come back. We're going to work with the organization. This is what showed them that they're not working with the organization, they're working for the organization. The amount of trust they've had in Tata, that irrespective of whatever has happened, they're ready to give a comeback. That culture, that cannot be built in a single day. That's the amount of respect and the trust that they've gained from the employees. So this definitely is our job, HR's job.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Having a great chart so far. So at last, we are having a quick rapid fire with five
Okay.
minimal questions. Okay, you need to be answer like this. Okay, yeah. Start with the
Okay.
first question. Corporate job or entrepreneurship?
I would say if you prefer independence, or for that
No,
matter, if it's me.
rapid fire, bro.
Okay.
No explanation,
Okay,
rapid
please
fire.
say. I'll just give you an answer for that. Okay. I would say entrepreneurship. Definitely.
Role or salary?
Sorry, role or salary? Role.
Location is important for you or not? The
Sorry.
location of the company is important for you or not?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. If it's South India, not in North India.
By the way, now I'm in East India, but I do prefer South India. I
Okay.
am from South India.
Apart from all the business questions, how
Mhm.
much you are liking Odisha compared to Andhra? Like Andhra or
Ah,
any Telugu state?
first thing is the kind of change that I've had in the food here. The spice levels that you've had in AP and Telangana. No, the amount of whatever I eat here, I feel like I'm eating a dessert. It's all sweeter.
Yeah, that's true. They have this kind of sauces using here, which are like very sweety.
Uh,
We are not used to it, basically.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for having you. Thanks for your time. I know how
Yep.
hectic it is and MBA. Yeah, thank you. We hope we'll be meet again in this channel.
Yes, definitely. I would say
Yeah,
thanks for
thank
you,
you.
man, because we have had a long day actually. Even though today was supposed to be a holiday, a weekend, we've had our classes and we have had multiple things happening. And I'm glad that I've had some simple, cheerful talk.
Okay, thank
Thanks for
you.
that.
Thank you. Have a nice day.